okay? Do we need
No,
to move
she's
over
good.
here? The whole board?
good.
Okay. All right. We're reviewing and, all right, whichever. Show her what paper we're working on, and if you don't have that paper, you can walk down to this stone and get it out of your folder. Okay, cool. All right, we're on the back of it. We're glad you're up and at 'em. All right, so there is a chance, you're right, I see what you're saying, Brian, now. So here, acceleration is 0, but there is a velocity, and that only happens for an instant when it's changing directions. Because remember we looked at these.
So wait, so you're saying that you can have a velocity without acceleration?
At that instant.
Okay.
But it is for an instant.
But you can also, but I mean, you can't, when it's so scans that you can't have a velocity.
Yeah, so what situation
The bottom question
is,
is,
where's an example of this, right? Say we're at 5, velocity's 5, but acceleration is 0. So, well, that one's easy, because that means you're going,
a constant.
right, so what's the other way?
You cannot have
I forgot.
a velocity, or you can't have an acceleration if you don't have a velocity.
Right.
So,
What about,
Yes.
they could both be 0. You could have a 0 velocity and a 0 acceleration.
yeah, but you can, but it's not a must.
No, it's not a must. That's why we said no.
Okay.
All right, let's, Hunter, if you would write these 2 questions down, we answered them, and you can watch the video to see why they are what they are. And,
Wait, no, it would still be yes, though. Because even in that moment, velocity would be 0 and acceleration is still also 0.
if acceleration is 0, so for example here,
No, not the top question. the bottom
okay, if
one.
velocity is 0, so say here,
Yeah.
must acceleration be 0? So you're wondering if it can be 0. So what if the curve went like this, and it came down, and it just touched like that? So then we would have a tangent line that had a 0 acceleration, and we would also have a velocity of 0.
Yeah. So
But
yeah.
that's when they're both 0. That's the only place that's
yeah,
gonna
but
happen.
still, the answer would be yes, right?
No, because
No.
she's saying must it. So every time that it's 0, like that velocity is 0, does acceleration have to be 0? And that's no.
It does every time
Well,
velocity
like
is
it
0.
did
No, it
here.
didn't right there. That
Velocity is 0,
Acceleration is not 0.
acceleration.
Acceleration at that moment is also 0.
Yeah, but that's not for every instant. It's saying for every instance that the velocity is 0, must in every instance.
Acceleration isn't
also
0
is
at that
0.
moment because
There
they're on a
could be-
hill.
So what's an instance where the velocity
There's
between
no
the two is 0?
velocity, he's saying in real life, you can see it here. But in real life, where is it happening? Where's it possible that we have
You
a
can't be speeding up if
velocity?
you're not moving. You can't be changing speed if you don't have any speed at all.
So we have 0 velocity, yet our acceleration is, say, a -2. I didn't do the triangle. So how could that be if we have a 0? And again, what's happening at this point, Brian, and we kind of alluded to it, the velocity is positive and then it's negative. So remember, a positive velocity is to the right and the negative is to the left. So just for an instant here, it's still accelerating, but it has no velocity.
Alright,
So
so it doesn't, at that moment, like, say if you're making a U-turn,
Right, it's a little
and then
sharper
you
than
don't have
that.
any velocity, but
It's
you can
not really a
s-
U-turn, it's turning around, going one way and turn like
Okay.
that.
Well, if you make a V-turn, I guess you could call it, then you can accelerate without technically having direction velocity, but you'll still have speed because you're accelerating.
Well,
And
actually,
in
your
real life-
speed, your speed is 0 as well. When you
I get what
change
you're saying.
directions, when I go like that and come back, that instant there's no velocity, but there is
Wait, in
acceleration.
that instant though, you don't have acceleration either.
Yeah, you can have
Wait,
acceleration.
yeah, because Brian, let's say a car's like, just for an instance, a car's going downhill and you freeze the car, right? So its velocity is 0. It's not moving. When you unfreeze that car, it's still gonna have the same acceleration that it had. It's not just gonna be at 0. It's not gonna stop moving. It's still gonna move down that hill when you
But
unfreeze
he's saying
it.
for that instant you stopped it, how could you say that there's an
But
acceleration?
wouldn't you still have the acceleration because you're not then starting over
It's
from
just-
0
it's just
when you
not-
It's not
stop
accelerating
it.
though.
You still have that acceleration.
You have that acceleration, but in
I
that
see
moment
what
in
you're
time,
trying
you
to
don't because
say.
you're frozen time. So
I
there's
see
no
what you're trying
acceleration.
to say.
Yeah, but
But,
you still
um,
have it.
No, it doesn't. When you're frozen time, it doesn't have any acceleration. It's frozen.
Well, what does acceleration mean? It means slowing down, right?
I mean, speeding up or slowing down.
Right, so in
Change-
this
change
case,
in
we're
velocity.
slowing, and here, we're actually slowing because the slope is becoming less and less steep as we go. So actually, I can show you a situation, it's really every time we change directions, where the acceleration here is quite high, then it's less, and then it's less, and then it's less. And it's hard for me to explain. Let me think on that and see if I can get a better explanation for
It's
you.
really just
But it
in
looks,
real life, there's no way you can have.
yeah,
There's no way
I
you
like
in
it.
real life.
sled,
There's
it
no
would
way
be
you
fun.
can change.
You
There's
would
no
like
way
that.
you can have a change in velocity if you have
You
a
would like
velocity.
over your
You can at an instant of time, and that's what's
But in that
happening.
And
instant,
you just make
in
the
that
jump.
instant of time, you don't have any velocity, so you still have acceleration because this instant doesn't like
All right,
bend any
that's-
law of
it's
physics.
a good question. It's a good question. The answer is in my mind, but I can't quite
No, I
get
get
it
what you're
out.
saying, because if you technically freeze the car and then you move it onto like a flat plane and you unfreeze
just,
the
like,
car,
pick
it
it up
wouldn't
and-
keep going.
But you can't just freeze
Maybe
the
a couple
car.
feet.
Right.
Really?
And when you if you could freeze the car, when you freeze the car,
I mean,
in
bam.
the moment when you freeze the car, it still doesn't have any acceleration. When you
Right.
unfreeze the car, the acceleration ends
Oh, I
because then time
But
starts
what
again.
it, but
Yeah,
what
but-
it, because when you
In that moment you
unfreeze
freeze
it,
the car, there's no time. So it can't have acceleration. Because time is 0.
but when you unfreeze it, does it still have acceleration,
Well,
or
then
does it
time
start
resumes
0
to its
again?
normal pace.
Like it's gonna
Yeah,
start.
you see his point though.
What?
When you freeze a
You see
car,
his
time is
point,
0.
like,
So it can't have any
In
velocity
the
and it can't have
formula,
acceleration.
change of time, for that instant is 0, so,
Anything that
yeah.
is about
All
0
right,
is
so
0.
I will,
So we
there's,
can't have any acceleration because
it is
in that
true,
moment,
it
time
is
0.
true though, so I'm gonna have to come up with a better
So
explanation.
the only way in
of
real
that
life that you could possibly have acceleration without velocity is when you're making that
Turn,
like instant turn.
right,
But
Even
nothing
for
can
that
really do
instant-
that because
alright,
that's
I
really
like
impossible
that,
to do.
I like that thinking, so I will address it when
Unless you
I
really
can
feel
think of a
time.
way to.
I don't think you have to worry about it too much. I don't think any other class that you have will go this in depth. with
I don't
this.
know, that's a good question.
It's like you can't have change in speed if you don't have speed. That's it.
Right, and then
you're a
acceleration
photon.
is defined as change in velocity,
Photons
so,
are stupid.
I like that question. Pushes me. Alright,
So is the
thank you.
answer still no?
The answer's no.
Come on.
Alright,
Graphically, it's.
alright, so, don't worry about this, I like them. It's pretty, you don't like them?
It's pretty.
I mean, I like them, but
Chocolate.
Oh yeah, no, it is not pretty.
Alright,
It is annoying. Yeah.
so if acceleration is 0, must velocity be 0? No. And if velocity is 0, must acceleration be 0? No. Use the graph to explain it to you now. In real life, I will improve on that answer after I meditate on it. We're going to review now for the rest of the class. We'll set up a bingo game. I don't think that, so you're already taping for Brandon now?
Yep.
All right, during the review, what I'm gonna do, Brandon, is eventually, when we're all done the review, I'm gonna show you all the questions with all the answers. Because there's gonna be long pauses while we write the answers and so forth, so it's not really beneficial for you to view. So I'm gonna catch you later. All right,
Bye.
all right.
you know.